Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all my relinquished Eyes Restrict Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile for November 2018. Relinquished Eyes Restrict, whatever you want to call this deck. I was actually given the idea to do this deck profile from one of my subscribers, which I love when you all do that. Just really sparks my interest in the deck if I haven't thought about it in a good while. So if you ever have any recommendations, I definitely want to see what you guys have to offer down in the comments below. But moving on to this deck, I've actually meant to do a deck profile on the relinquished deck for quite some time now, just actually never got around to it, but that was finally my motivation too. It's a really fun deck. The whole basis is to take your opponent's monsters and equip them onto your Eyes Restrict monsters, then just have a bunch of different effects and protection based on those. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So to start off, I run 3 Relinquished, one of the oldest and best cards in the deck. You can ritual summon this card with Black Illusion Ritual, and once per turn you can target one monster your opponent controls, equip that target to this card, maximum 1, and this card's attack and defense become equal to the equipped monsters, and if this card be destroyed by battle, destroy that equipped monster instead. And while equipped with that monster, any battle damage you take from battles involving this card inflicts equal effect damage to your opponent. So you basically have protection against battle when you take their monster. Also taking one of their, more powerful monsters can really hurt some of their plays and in return just benefit you. And most of the time, if they end up, shutting down your relinquished, you have that link 1 option for Link Karibo, which definitely is useful if you ever, have that situation that you need to get rid of your relinquished. But most of the time, you just want to sit on it because it is a very powerful card in the deck. And I also run 3 Millennium Eyes Illusionists with this one. It is a quick effect. You can discard this card, then target one effect monster your opponent controls, equip that target to an Eyes Restrict fusion monster or relinquish you control as if it were equipped by that monster's effect. And if an Eyes Restrict fusion monster or relinquish is special summon, add this card from your graveyard to your hand. It is not optional, and you can only use each effect of Millennium Eyes Illusionists once per turn. I always think that this is not optional. It's quite funny with this card, but it's really helpful in the deck just for re-equipping monsters that you would, lose off of the relinquished after the destroy. A quick effect means that you can take something very valuable of your opponent as well. So you have that benefit with this card, and then just the recycle. But definitely 3 of in the deck, like I said, it sets up a lot of your plays for sure. And I also run 2 Illusionist, Faceless Magician. If a face-up Eyes Restrict fusion monster or relinquish you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your graveyard if it was there when that monster was destroyed, or hand even if not. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one Eyes Restrict fusion monster or relinquish in your graveyard, special summon it. You can only use each effect of Illusionist, Faceless Magician once per turn. This is the remake of the Illusionist Faceless Mage. It's a very much better card than just a vanilla monster, being able to special summon itself and then also your Eyes Restrict monsters for that benefit. I'll only run 2 though, just for the options we have with it available. If you want to run 3, I would swap out 1 card, which we'll get to in a bit, that I will say. Also, since it is a ritual deck, I run 3 Manju of the 10,000 hands. I want to get one more hollow one. I think I do have one just around here somewhere, but either way, when this card is normal or flip summon, you can add 1 ritual monster or ritual spell card from your deck to your hand. So it searches out relinquished or its ritual spell, whichever you need for the situation. So this card definitely does help in that sense. And I also run 2 Sphere Karibo. I actually do like this card in the deck. I know with Link monsters being an attack position thing, we don't have the option to switch them to defense, but with it, most of the time you have other options for other monsters to be switched to defense, and getting this card in the graveyard stops that attack, plus its other effect is when you ritual summon a monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard as one of the monsters required for the ritual summon. So even using it after that hand trap effect in the graveyard for the banish, because relinquish is just a level 1, so it covers the whole ritual cost there. So very helpful with that as well. I tried mixing in the incantation cards into the deck, but the ritual search was nice, but we just have so many other ritual search options with the deck. And with the incantations, being big level monsters and your only ritual being a level 1, you don't really need them as much in the deck for the whole cost for the ritual summon. That's why I decided not to run them in this deck specifically. But Sphere Karibo I definitely do like for that graveyard option. And I also run 3 Armageddon Knight. I run 3 of this just because you can send your basically your illusionist cards to the graveyard for their graveyard effects. So very helpful with that. It gives you exceed options with your Manjus if need be as well, if they're still in the field, if you had other cards available to you to ritual summon out Relinquish, and you still have those ones on the field if you didn't use them for a link summon, or you can link them together. Armageddon Knight just definitely does help for graveyard setup. And another monster just to add with that is one Destrudo, the Lost Dragon's Frisson. Now I run this as well for the special summon option with Armageddon Knight. If you know one of the fusions that we run, which is Millenniumized Restrict, requires a Relinquish plus one effect monster, meaning if you have just plenty of options to special summon an effect monster out, it can help for just that fusion if you want to go out for it. So one Frisson definitely does help also. I also run two of the kaiju monsters. I run one Thunder King and one Jizukuru. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Just for the bigger ones, for the power up, for the equips. But if you wanted to run any of the other ones, you can try fitting in those two. Just helps to tribute out your opponent's monster, and then take this one if there's like any restriction with your opponent's monsters, or you just can't get around it. That definitely does help. Then just give them this kaiju, then take the kaiju back with the equip. Definitely a good play there for sure. And that is it for the monsters. The whole basis is just to focus around the ritual summoning and then the protection of your Eyes Restrict and graveyard setup with your plays. So I want to keep that as tight of a monster count as I could. For the spells, I run 3 Relinquish Fusion. It's a quick play spell card. You fusion summon one Eyes Restrict Fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing materials from your hand, field, and or graveyard. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one effect monster your opponent controls. Equip that target to an Eyes Restrict Fusion monster or Relinquish. You can only control it if it were equipped by that monster's effect. You can only use each effect of Relinquish Fusion once per turn. It's a quick play, so that definitely does help with your fusion options as well. And the fact that you also have that graveyard play to go off of means that you just have, along with your Millenniumized Illusionist, plenty of equip options available to you with this card for sure. The fact that it's a quick play means that you can easily respond with your fusion summons as well if your opponent tries to take off after, and trying just to get rid of your Relinquish monster for sure. Because once they get this out, if they don't want to lose their monster, they're going to try and get rid of it for sure. So just, activate Relinquish Fusion in response, and it will really mess up their plans for sure. Plus, with Relinquish, we have to run his trusty Ritual spell, 3 Black Illusion Ritual. Yeah, just use it to Ritual Summon Relinquish, so you can't really go wrong there. With this card, like I said, it's generic for Relinquish itself. Running 3 means that you'll definitely have the setup in your hand, plus with the Manju Search as well, and some of the other ones. I also run 3 Instant Fusion. This is to go for your Thousand Eyes Restrict, which is your other fusion option, which you can Instant Fusion out, then just make use of his effect as well, or going for Panzer Dragon, which we'll get to in the extra deck as well, just as another fusion target. So 3 of this definitely does help to set up a lot of other different plays also, and just have additional monsters on the field for maybe some other extra deck ones also. And I also run 3 pre-preparation of rights. You add 1 ritual spell from your deck to your hand, and add 1 ritual monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand whose name is listed on the ritual spell card. You can activate 1 per turn, but easy because Relinquish is on Black Illusion Ritual, so you'll get the search off of this card. So definitely 3 of, just for that Manju Search as well. You have plenty of options to open up Relinquish and the other setups as well. Same goes for 2 Preparation of Rites, just adding level 7 or lower ritual, and then a ritual spell from your graveyard. It lets you recycle the 1 Black Illusion Ritual as well. Plus, we'll run plenty of dark monsters in the deck. Also, if you have multiple Armageddon Knights drawn, Allure of Darkness just helps after you even go through some of the mill of the deck with searching. So this card just helps as well. Plus, also, I run 2 Call by the Grave. This card, one thing I noticed a lot when I was trying to get off searches with the deck is just that Ghost Ogre and Ash, whenever you try activate Relinquish effect, the Ghost Ogre, or just search with Ash, so Call the Grave definitely does help main decked as well. And I also run 1 Foolish Burial. This is just very helpful for the Send to the Graveyard for Illusionists or Frisson, you name it. And I also run 1 Super Polymerization to finish off the main deck. This card, fresh off the ban list as well, and with it, you can fusion out your Millenniumized Restrict monster, because then you can just fusion summon this, and then have the option of an effect monster, which you just need to Relinquish, and an effect monster to make this card, which most of the time your opponent does have that option available to you. So using Super Polymerization to send from either side to the graveyard definitely does help for sure. And that is it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra, I run 3 Thousand Eyes Restrict. I don't want to run 3 Thousand Eyes. I want to run 3 Millennium Eyes Restrict, but I only have 2 of that in the deck, so take out one of the Thousand Eyes for one of those, but just a good substitute as well. Most of the time, other monsters in the field kind of change their battle position or attack, and once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls, equip that target to this card. This card's attack and defense become equal to that equipped monster, so with an instant fusion easy target, you can just take that monster very easily, and then, you know, either link summon the Thousand Eyes Restrict away for a Link Karibo or even some other extra deck plays. And I also run, like I said, I want to run 3, but only have 2 of the Millennium Eyes Restrict. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can target one effect monster your opponent controls or in their graveyard. Equip that target to this card you control. This card gains attack and defense equal to the equipped monsters. Monsters equipped with that monster name cannot attack. Also, their effects on the field are negated. So you have more shutdown options available to you also with Millennium Eyes Restrict, and an easier fusion summon option, since for a normal fusion of Thousand Eyes Restrict, you needed Thousand Eyes Idol, which I didn't want to run this card in the deck just because it wouldn't give you too many other options. But this card definitely very easy card to fusion summon out. Plus, going to the 1 Panzer Dragon just for the other instant fusion target definitely does help having that effect as well, since it has a destroy effect, but also just that other option for your fusion material plays. And I also run for the Link monsters. Link Karibo, we were talking about it enough in the video, so gotta run one of this. Just helpful for easy links using the level 1 monsters, which are the Relinquished and the Thousand Eyes. And I also run 1 Underclock Taker, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Triple Burst Dragon, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, and 1 Topologic Bomber Dragon. If you didn't want to run the Underclock or the Triple Burst, you can try taking any one of these 5 out for a Wee Witch, since we run plenty of dark options as well. Just couldn't find my Wee Witch for the deck profile, but that definitely does help also just for the option to go into that easy link summon and then recycle some of your other darks in the graveyard. And we run a good number of level 4s as well, so I run 1 Exciton Knight and 1 Tornado Dragon as well, just for easy ranks. And to go with the Frisson, 1 Black Rose Dragon. I think it's the best synchro to mix in with that card, just for the fact that you can, you know, take care of big field swarm with that option available to you also. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like I said, I definitely wanted to get this deck out to you for the longest time. And if you have any other requests for deck profiles, just comment down below. I'll definitely look into it. And if I've already done the deck profile, I'll let you know. And until next time, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Twig out.